What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former unified WBC, WBA, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Keith one-time Thurman, could possibly face off against newly crowned WBA regular champion, Cuban welterweight superstar boxer, Yordenis Ugas. Keith Thurman is trying to place himself back in the title contention. Keith Thurman wants another opportunity to face now newly crowned 8-division world champion, WBA welterweight world champion, legendary iconic boxer Manny "Pac-Man" Pacquiao, after Manny Pacquiao defeated Keith Thurman for his WBA title. Keith Thurman lost his WBC title after he had to vacate it due to elbow and hand injuries and inactivity, so he could not compete, and the WBC stripped him, which saw two-time world champion, former WBC world champion Danny Swift Garcia, and two-time welterweight world champion Showtime Shawn Porter face off for his vacant WBC title, in which Shawn Porter was victorious in, and then Shawn Porter went on to face Yordenis Ugas. Oddly enough, he beat Yordenis Ugas. There's a lot of people felt Yordenis Ugas won the fight. Nonetheless, Shawn Porter got the nod. And then Shawn Porter went and defended the title in a unification bout against undefeated, now unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Errol Spence Jr., who defeated Shawn Porter. So Keith Thurman says he wants the opportunity to face Errol Spence in 2021. He wants a rematch with Manny Pacquiao to regain his WBA title. But first, he's going to have to get a big victory. Now, we know Yordenis Ugas just recently fought 2 weekends ago, in which he captured the WBA regular title. Manny Pacquiao is the WBA super champion. I know it's confusing. But Keith Thurman is looking to put himself back in contention, like I stated, and he wants to fight Errol Spence or Manny Pacquiao. So with that said, that's a possibility that Keith Thurman could get back in the ring and face against Yordenis Ugas. Should he beat Yordenis Ugas, that puts him right back in the mix to face Manny Pacquiao, who's not going to compete in 2020 due to the pandemic and social distancing and no fans being allowed to attend sporting events. With that said, Keith Thurman beats Yordenis Ugas. Manny Pacquiao is not fighting until 2021. There goes the opportunity and the reason for him to be in a fight with Manny Pacquiao, because now he will be the regular champion and he gets the opportunity to face off against Manny Pacquiao. Also, it gives him a reason, or should I say, it gives Errol Spence a reason to face Keith Thurman should Errol Spence get past his highly anticipated showdown November 21st against Danny Garcia. Now, Danny Garcia loses to Errol Spence. Errol Spence goes on and fights Keith Thurman, and it's a unification bout. Should Keith Thurman get past Yordenis Ugas? Because now, see, the WBA regular title is on the line. So that means that Errol Spence could gain the WBA regular title, right? And he will be the WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Manny Pacquiao is still the super champion. That's for the WBA to have to explain, right? Because Yordenis Ugas is still recognized as the regular champion. So Errol Spence, if he was to fight Keith Thurman and beat Keith Thurman, should Keith Thurman beat Yordenis Ugas, then essentially he'd be fighting for the WBA title and it'd be a unification bout. Or does he have to go through Manny Pacquiao? See, this is a way for Errol Spence to still be able to collect the belts, as he likes to say, strap season. And this is Keith Thurman's opportunity now to rectify the situation. As he said, he made a mistake. By losing to Manny Pacquiao, he had all plans in 2020 to beat Manny Pacquiao and then go into an undefeated unification showdown with Errol Spence. But obviously, he came up short against Manny Pacquiao, which now is placing Errol Spence in a position to look and try to get a fight with Manny Pacquiao. But is Manny Pacquiao willing to get in the ring with Errol Spence Jr.? It's being reported that Manny Pacquiao could face former 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia in his next outing. So Errol Spence fighting in November, he'll be ready to go again in March. If Keith Thurman is able to get a fight with Yordenis Ugas in late December, Yordenis Ugas just fought. Maybe he, October, November, he'd make a ring return in December, late December, early January, right? That would, and Keith Thurman, I'm favoring Keith Thurman to beat Yordenis Ugas. And if Keith Thurman at that point in time would be, like I said, the WBA regular champion, if Manny Pacquiao decides to go the route of Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence is available. That's something to entice Errol Spence to take the Keith Thurman fight, as Keith Thurman was avoiding Errol Spence and telling Errol Spence that he had to get a title, putting a lot of stipulations in for Errol Spence to get the fight with Keith Thurman. And Errol Spence said that he has no interest in facing Keith Thurman, because when Keith Thurman was demanding, he had no interest in giving him his opportunity. Errol Spence was chasing him down. But now maybe, just maybe, the fact that Keith Thurman is the WBA regular champion, this will entice Errol Spence to go ahead and fight Keith Thurman. Then go ahead and fight Terrence Crawford, because I'm expecting Errol Spence to be victorious against Keith Thurman. Nonetheless, that's a tough fight for Keith Thurman against Yordenis Ugas, but I'm favoring Keith Thurman to beat Yordenis Ugas. I believe that Keith Thurman is just too skilled. I believe that Keith Thurman is too quick on his feet. He's too versatile, and he'll beat Yordenis Ugas. But it's still a big fight, and that's a big victory for Keith Thurman. And only having one loss on your resume to Manny Pacquiao and regaining the WBA regular title, once again being a 3-time world champion, those are accolades that could entice Errol Spence to want to push forward with a Keith Thurman showdown. Because I don't believe that early 2021 he will be able to land a showdown with Manny Pacquiao. So this is the perfect opportunity for him to pick up that belt. And let's just say he does beat Keith Thurman and pick up the WBA regular title. If he's not recognized as unified, that would put him in position to land Pacquiao fight. You understand? So all of these pieces to the puzzle will be able to come together for all of these guys. For Keith Thurman, he beat Yordenis Ugas. It's a way for him to, an avenue to get to Manny Pacquiao or Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a way for him to get to the WBA title without having to go through Manny Pacquiao should Manny Pacquiao not conform and fight him. You understand? So these are ways and avenues for them to get these big fights. Not to mention, Sean Porter is the mentor for the WBC, but he's also #1 in the WBO. So if they allow a unification bout to go on between Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, that's another avenue for Errol Spence not to have to face Sean Porter straight away. And then it also gives Sean Porter the incentive to push for a Terrence Crawford fight. And maybe we could get the Terrence Crawford fight because he's #1 in the WBO. So if he don't get his opportunity to fight for the WBC, well, maybe he'll go the avenue of pushing harder to get the WBO opportunity. Right? So you see how all the dominoes can fall in place should Keith Thurman fight Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas is available. He's looking for a big fight. And this is a big fight for Keith Thurman. And it's a big fight for Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas wants a rematch with Sean Porter. So Yordenis Ugas, let's say he beats Keith Thurman. Let's say he's in a position to face Errol Spence. And let's say he's able to beat Errol Spence. Well, then he's in position to fight Sean Porter. So you see how all the dominoes, the domino effect, Keith Thurman versus Yordenis Ugas, why it makes sense? This is a fight that should come to fruition. It's only right. So it's being talked about. Possibly. Hopefully it comes to fruition. So let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to new media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.